Trade talk. The NBA trade deadline is here, and we're going to talk about all the moves that are potentially happening. Big news today, the Rudy Gobert trade. There's been an actual offer, and I'm going to tell you that offer coming up in a minute. But first, there's been a report by NBA executives that Cleveland should recommend trading for LeBron James for Evan Mobley. And this is what the trade would look like. It'd be Evan Mobley, Kevin Love, and Ralph Neto for LeBron James on a 3-year deal. I don't think LeBron would honestly want to do this because that puts him locked into Cleveland. Yeah, Bronny's trying to get into the league. And I don't think Cleveland should do this either because I think Evan Mobley's got a really bright future and obviously LeBron is coming to the end of that. Luka Doncic wants the Mavericks to make a big move this trade deadline. Now, he definitely needs to get a second star. I mean, just look what happened to the stars that they got rid of. Kristaps Porzingis playing incredibly well now in Washington, and they really should have kept Jalen Brunson. He's playing really well now in New York. So they already had second stars. Now, Porzingis, granted, I don't think he really fit, but Brunson was playing well. They really are going to regret not signing Jalen Brunson. But here it is, the Rudy Gobert trade, and it is indeed linked to the Portland Trail Blazers. Portland receive Rudy Gobert on a 4-year deal, $150 million, and Minnesota receives Jeremy Grant and Yusuf Nurkic. Who wins that trade? Let me know in the comments down below. And the New York Knicks are currently listening to offers for Julius Randle. He's been playing at an all-star level this season, and I think any team would be happy to bring in Julius Randle. He's a good leader, and I don't know what he's averaging. It's more north of 20 points per game, I know that much. And here's an interesting one. The Indiana Pacers are willing to trade Miles Turner and other assets for Ben Simmons from the Brooklyn Nets. Now, I think Nick Claxton has really come into his own, but I still don't think he's a proper center, but he's a little bit skinny on the side. I think Miles Turner would be so good for the Brooklyn Nets, but Ben Simmons has been playing pretty well as well. I think the Nets should explore this. Bradley Beal is tired of losing. Could he try to force his way out? I think he's going to do that in the off-season and not in the deadline, though. And this might be some of the biggest news we've seen yet. The Chicago Bulls are thinking about blowing up that roster at the deadline. This would be huge. The big pieces would be coming out, like Levine and DeRozan, obviously. I don't think they'd let them go at the deadline. But guys like Alex Caruso is the big one that people are really trying to see if they can get their hands on. We'll have another trade offer, an official trade offer coming right up. But new news, breaking news. Trae Young, per The Athletic, doesn't think DeJounte Murray is a good fit with the team. Now, I can see this being a reality because DeJounte Murray has low-key been better than Trae Young this season. If the Hawks were going to have an all-star, it would be DeJounte Murray and not Trae Young. So, might be a little bit of jealousies going on there. But 2 point guards, I don't know. It didn't work in the past, and I don't know why it would work now. And, you know, with Atlanta, John Collins has been on the trading block for like, 3-4 years now, and I think this is the off-season or the trade deadline that they need to get rid of him because, honestly, I'm not very high on John Collins, and I'm not sure who would want him, but all I know is it's time for him to leave Atlanta because, for me, all he really does is he's a great lob threat. He doesn't play a whole lot of defense, hasn't been able to get that 3-point shot falling. There's just plenty of better guys that Atlanta could pick up. And here is the official trade offer. Philadelphia would receive Terrence Ross from the Orlando Magic for Matisse Thybulle and Furkan Korkmaz. Terrence Ross is a quality piece. Matisse Thybulle, I love Matisse Thybulle. I would love to see him on a different team because Philly don't use him enough. He's a great player. And Furkan Korkmaz isn't really getting a whole lot of minutes, and he's also a pretty solid player. For Terrence Ross, who's been playing very well on the Orlando Magic, I like this trade for both sides, honestly. They get a good young player in Matisse Thybulle. Furkan Korkmaz is pretty useful as well if they still want to get a couple wins. I don't know about that. I think if I'm Orlando, I'm going to try to drop right down for the Wembanyama status, because right now, the San Antonio Spurs are pretty much unmatched for that. And here we have a report, like a mock trade. Now, you always have to take these with a grain of salt because they don't usually end up going like this, but it's just an idea. This one involves Jimmy Butler going to Dallas. So Dallas receives Jimmy Butler, Miami would receive Kyle Kuzma and Spencer Dinwiddie, and Washington gets Josh Green in a first. That's not great. I really think this trade is going to need a lot of tweaking. I think whoever did this just got it out there real quick because they're giving up Kyle Kuzma for a first and Josh Green. That's a big L if you're Washington. You're going to want to get a lot more for Kyle Kuzma than just a first. I think I'd want 2 firsts. And how the trade market is really inflated right now because of the Rudy Gobert trade, I think they can even go for like another player, 2 firsts. Like, they could get a lot for Kyle Kuzma. The trade deadline might be I don't know. It's either going to be really busy or really quiet because of the inflated market that is the NBA trade scheme right now. So it's going to be interesting to see. Charles Barkley was saying he thinks it's going to be one of the best trade deadlines in the NBA history. So let's see. But let's not gloss over that Jimmy Butler Dallas thing. How would you like that? Jimmy Butler in Dallas with Luka. I think those two, they're quite similar, but not in the same way. Like, they almost like opposites, but very the same. You know what I mean? Like, similar builds, but Jimmy's a really good defender. Luka's not that good of a defender. Luka can shoot pretty much from anywhere. His three-pointer has come along. It started off the season really bad, but he's improved that heaps. Jimmy Butler's never had a three-pointer. I think they'd complement each other. I honestly think they'd complement each other. Jimmy would run that small forward and would be the second star to take some time away from Luka, just running the show. So I really like this. If I'm Dallas, obviously getting Jimmy Butler would be huge, and I think that would push them to title contention. I'm not going to lie. Do lose Spencer Dinwiddie. He has been pretty decent. I like Spencer Dinwiddie. He's done pretty good things so far this season. He's been the second guy. Jimmy Butler's going to be a way better second guy than Spencer Dinwiddie. Honestly, if they kept Jalen Brunson, none of this would be a problem at all. What trades would you like your team to make? Maybe I can make a video on that. Comment down below which trades your team needs to make, and I'll see you next time.